Morning and welcome to Morning Pulse, the pulse of Nigerian politics, right here and active citizens. I'm your host, Sharon N.M. Chuku. Joining me live in the studio, I have with me my co-host, Ms. Ifoma Oji. Good morning, and how are you doing?
Good morning, Sharon. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm very well. Welcome to a new day. Also, you are glad. Joining us in the studio, we have our guest in person of Mr. Charles. Good morning, and how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Welcome to the conversation.
Thank you.
Now we're going straight to the updates coming from the protest that has been ongoing in Abuja at NAS concerning the Electoral Act reform that went viral, stating coming from the Senate saying that there was not going to be any mandatory electronic transmission of election results to IREV and left it to the discretion of INEC to make that decision. Now, after that, Nigerians reacted terribly and cited that as a clear ground for rigging in 2027. Now, we heard from Senate that they were going to call for an emergency plenary session on Tuesday, being yesterday. Now, after that session, we're about to give you the result of that particular session. But before we do that, we'd like to take some videos of protesters in Abuja protesting, and one in particular from Aisha Yusufu. We saw that Aisha Yusufu was there on the ground. We saw Randy Peters, Mama D, Mama P. We saw Peter Obi. We saw Rotimi Amechi and his son, and other dignitaries in attendance during that protest. But let's take a video from Aisha Yusuf and then we'll return to the studio.
Honorable, if not for this protest, the Senate president, sir, with all due respect, sir, the Senate came back from holidays at the end of January. After sitting for about 3 days, the House and the Senate went on recess to resume on the 18th and on the 24th of February. So if not for the pressure that Nigerians are putting, so you people will not come back to come and do the right thing. So we are supposed to drag this thing to the end of the year.
Do we drag you people? So I don't speak for the Senate, and I don't hold people for the Senate. We have and come out with a joint position.
They say National Assembly that changed everything for one day. Hold on.
I have nothing. They have only placard. They are doing show of force. Police is doing show of force for citizens. Come on, I know they shame. So if I don't tire now, I mean, you are riding your car. The worst thing that will happen, you will hit me or you will shoot. It is no worse than that. Terrorists do more than that. A community in Kwara has received warning from terrorists. The other one, we had almost 200 people killed. What happened? They received a warning. Nigerian police were nowhere to be found. These terrorists went there. From sunset to sunrise, they were able to operate. They killed almost 200 people. All of you here with your guns, shamelessly, you couldn't protect citizens. But you stay here. I want to go there. Everyone, you are suffering. Every day. Every day, your colleagues that have retired are hungry. They are begging for voices. They are telling us to come out and speak on their behalf. Your colleagues are on the road. Every day they are begging. They are calling us. Oh, they cannot come out. Yet, anytime citizens are coming out, those of you that should stand by the citizens are the ones that are sent to come and stop them. All of this someone that don't cover everywhere. In short, all of them cover gather everywhere. Until what? Until what? You are setting your gun. Terrorists are out there killing. Madam, look at me. Your children, can they attend the school that those senators and senate president, whatever, are telling you? You know they pay you. When you go back home, your check will ask you, why am I not in good school where there is good quality education? And you say what? You are coming out to stop those who are just saying that the
confronted the police officers at the ground of the event. But let me get your take, Ifoma, on these videos that we've been seeing circulating on social media.
I think I concur with you. I said when we discussed this yesterday, I said Aisha Yusufu, I can give her that title of Human King.
Yeah.
Because she embodies it so well. And she proved it again yesterday when I saw the video we just saw right now, where she was confronting the police officers there. And she was like, so far no they tire una.
Very good.
You for how many years you've been working for the Nigerian government? How much did they pay you? How much are they paying you that you come and tear gas people? How much are they paying you that you shoot at innocent and harmless protesters? How much are you being paid? If Nigeria is better today, won't it circulate to you? Won't it circulate to your family? Won't it circulate to your generation? The fight we are fighting is not just our fight alone, but for the betterment of everybody. So I was even expecting even the police officers to maybe like even join the protest. I was expecting that too, because if the police officers have a united front saying that they are not going to protect these VIPs that send them into the forest to go and fight people, and at the end of the day, these people will lose their lives. But the people that they are protecting will still be alive. Was it yesterday that a forest guard in Kwara State was shot dead? The forest guard was killed yesterday. And the people that he was protecting are still at the higher places enjoying, passing bills, while Nigerians are here to suffer. So I think no Nigerian is more Nigerian than us, and that is why we need to have a united front and fight this menace, fight this disease of electoral malpractices that's going on in the
Thank you very much. We still have so much angles to address this particular issue from. We've still not given you the update concerning the plenary session that was held yesterday, but we have to take a look at Randa Peters, who has also been at the forefront ever since this.
From holidays at the end of January. Went on recess to resume on the 18th and on the 24th of February. So if not for the pressure that Nigerians are putting, so you people will not come and do the right thing. So we are supposed to drag this thing to the end of the year. You people.
So I don't speak for the Senate and I don't hold people for the Senate. We have to organize and come out with a joint position.
They say National Assembly. They say National Assembly that changed one thing for one day. Hold on. If Tinubu wants to borrow money today, it will clear under 30 minutes. In the national anthem is one day. Why is electronic and electoral reform taking how many years? It is not to listen to us. It is to take action. We want action, not to listen. We are tired. We are tired. We are tired.
Action.
For the Senate, you are the spokesperson for the House. Where is the spokesperson for the Senate? Where is Senator Yemi Adaramodu? You spoke at the House of
Mr. Charles, let's just take your perspective on the general stance of the public with this particular reform. We also can see that the likes of Rotimi and Mechi have come out to stand with the people, and it's been a while we've seen active involvement of high political figures on the side of the people. But let me get your take.
Well, my take on it is the people should be considered, because every governance has an impact. It is the people that are mostly affected.
Of course.
No matter who is in power, both good or bad. So I feel like the people should be considered, and the government should do what they should do, because cornering things or being indirect with certain things that has to do with the nation, for example, the mode of election is really like bad, because like I said, eventually, if a bad government enters into power, it's the people that will suffer it.
Of course.
If a good government enters into power, it's the people. So I feel like the people should be really considered and they should be listened to. I am in support of the protests generally.
All right, thank you, Mr. Charles. And it seems as though right now the tension is still heightening. We'll take a look at a video from a very concerned citizen who I feel in the longest time has the most traumatic experience with Nigeria. Let's have a look at that video.
As you are seeing me, I'm a young widow. I am a lady whose husband was kidnapped and killed after paying ransom just 1 year after my wedding, and I gave birth to a set of twins. As you can see, I have a lifetime experience. I have an experience that is breaking me all through my life. So now you can see that I am bitter that this is the way Nigeria is at the moment. So we want a free and fair election. How we are asking, why am I here? Why did I flew all the way down to Abuja? It's to tell the Senate, to tell the National Assembly, to tell the Senate that please, we want electronic transmission of our election results. Real-time electronic transmission of our election results. One man, one vote. Our vote must count. Our vote must count. That is all why we are here. That is why we are here, and that is why I am here. Thank you.
I think now we can give our takes and then, you know, still look at other videos. We are seeing that Sorore was also live at the protest. But this particular video is really heartbreaking. It is a clear case of Nigeria happening to you. And I think seeing people who flew in from different parts of Nigeria to Abuja in order that they can participate and partake in that protest just shows how significant it is for us to decide who and who is going to rule us in 2027, and also paying very close attention to the processes that would get us there. But let me also, you know, talk to you, Ifoma, about what we've been seeing now. The fact that we're talking about the participation of the protests, it seems as though this is a deja vu with the NSAS protest coming alive again in 2026 ahead of 2027 elections. But you know, before now we've been seeing the police tear gas people when they come out to protest. We see them shooting at them in some cases, but we've not had any type of stories or news like that ever since this protest started. Why do you think that is so? And number two, we're seeing more Nigerians participating. How does that make you feel as a Nigerian citizen?
You know, first off, with the first question that you asked me, why is it that the police are not shooting at Nigerians, tear gassing Nigerians? It's because we have gained international recognition, just like you said before when for the break or during the break. We have gained that attention from international bodies. They have designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. So all eyes are on Nigerians. So, and this video of this protest that we are seeing now, everybody is looking at us. So any misstep from the police or from the government, I know this is not going to be like Nigerians protesting. It's going to be a revolution. 2020, it's even little compared to what we are going to have. The kind of revolutions that we are going to have in Nigeria. We have over 230 now. I'm not estimating over 230 Nigerians. Now imagine when we have Nigerians en masse coming out to fight the government, coming out to fight the police. How many is the police? How many is the army? They can never outnumber Nigerians. That is the power of Nigerians. That is the power of the citizens. That's the power of numbers. Now, talking about the protest here, I feel really sad for that widow that we just saw her video. My heart goes out to her because when we talk about Nigeria happening to you, this is a clear example of Nigeria happening to her and to a lot of people. And I think whenever you're praying at night or in the morning, anytime you want to pray, just pray that Nigeria do not happen to you. Now, Nigerian happened to women that I saw their faces on social media when terrorists kidnapped them. About 4 women, elderly women, they were kidnapped by terrorists, and they were using AK-47 to hit them on their head, commanding them to remove their hijab. With pains, they were crying. Now, this is Nigeria happening to them. This is more like little of what we hear on daily basis that happen to Nigerians, or when Nigerian happens to Nigerians. Yeah. It is quite sad, and that is why Nigerians have realized that the discretion or the problem that we are having is no longer completely about the leaders, but at the polling units. We have realized that it is we that have the power, we have the numbers, and we have the authority to do what it takes to put Nigeria on the right map. And once Nigeria gets better, it gets better to for everybody. And that is why we are mounting at the National Assembly to tell the National Assembly that it is the will of the people that will happen this time. Now, Senator Mongono, I remember when protest was going on, he promised that when they go in for the plenary session, that they are going to consider the will of the people. I don't know if that is so for now, because we are still going to approach that particular topic. But I love how Nigerians are having united front. With that mix you're seeing now, it's not just Igbos that are there. It's not just Yorubas that are there. It's not just Hausas that are there. This is when we talk about Nigeria being one, the giant of Africa. When we say we are all one, this is what it means to be one and to be united and fight for a good cause. Because when it happens or things turn out for the better, it's going to turn out for the better of all of us and not just one region.
Right. And then I also like the fact that you mentioned that number, right? It has been obvious for years that these government people, these government officials and politicians have in the long run used the numbers against us. Because we're a people of great numbers, they have divided us with tribalism, they have divided us with education and with classism, or this person doesn't have this, religion as well. Those things have played key roles in dividing our numbers. But you know, my question to you, Mr. Charles, is do you think that finally, after so long, Nigeria has gotten to that point where they can put aside the tribalism, the religion, the classism, and arrive at a common, you know, understanding and arrive at a common ground? But before you answer that question, there is a video would like us to take a look at with Sowore at the protest ground. Now, he was not just at the protest ground, he broke the barricade set there by the Nigerian police. When we come back, we'll take a look at your perspective, but let's have a look at that video.
We shall always fight for our lives. Solidarity forever. Solidarity. Steve!
What's the problem? They don't want to pass the bill. They don't want to pass the bill.
Pass the bill. Hey, Oga! Don't push! Don't push! Don't push! Hey, don't push! Don't push! Don't push! Don't push! Don't push! Yes. Why won't they go? Where they go? We are going to National Assembly. Where's the bill?
We can't do it. You can't tell us we have to enter and we have to enter. This is our man.
Where's the bill? Where's the bill? Where's the bill? Where's the bill? Where's the bill?
Welcome, Nigerian people. Welcome, Nigerian people. Nobody should ask to be there. I'm not joking here.
So Ray is at it again, and we can see that in that video. But anyways, let me get your take on the question that I asked previously.
Okay, well, in the case of Nigeria uniting as a whole, putting aside tribalism, religion, and the rest, I definitely see it happening, like in the forthcoming election or thereabout. I definitely see that there is a chance of that unity, because if we decide to use the NSAS protests that happened in the nation as an example, you would see how united Nigerians were at that time. I think that movement was really like impressive and powerful, because we saw what we did due to that alliance and that unity. So I definitely see that happening. Yeah.
All right. And back to this video that we saw before now. Sorry, at the protest ground, breaking the barricade, moving in. What is your take?
There was this interview I saw of that should be this Nollywood actress, almost sexy. I'm trying to Omotola Jalade. She said that we need leaders of the time of Rollins. We need leaders that is ready to die for Nigerians. That we need leaders. It's not leaders that will say we want everybody to go to war, but leaders will say all die na die. And that is what I see in Sowore, right from the time that he was the SUG president back then in Lagos. He was fighting for good governance, fighting for the good cause. And he was at a point even expelled in university, but that didn't deter him up to date. And that is a warrior that I am seeing fighting for Nigerians. And it's not like we're asking for too much. Why are you barricading people? I beg, all die na die. We'll definitely die one day. Just that we don't know the particular day that we are going to die. But are we going to die? We are going to die. So if it is that day or that yesterday that the police will finally shoot at him, let us die and know that we are dying for a good cause, and let it be on record. So I love what he's doing. And there was something too that he said, because I watched some of his statements where he said that in India, that what he's even campaigning for, advocating for, is electronic voting. That is not even fully about electronic transmission, that is electronic voting. Do you know that in India, we have over 900 registered voters in India, and what they use during voting process is their phones. So when you search for any data, you get it in the internet. It's not hard. Once you log into their portal, you get it. It's not hard to get. So that is another thing that we are campaigning for. And he's saying that if other countries can achieve that, why can't Nigeria
achieve that.
Exactly.
So the question is going to the Senate House, the National Assembly. Why can't Nigeria achieve that?
All right, now we're going to the climax of the entire conversation, where we take a look at the Senate, the NAS, right, and what they agreed upon after the emergency plenary following protests here and there in Abuja concerning their initial stand. We'll take a look at that video and then we'll talk on the amendment. Let's have a look.
No. Any senator may challenge the opinion of the president or the chairman by claiming a division. Mr. President, I claim a division. In respect of? We need to vote individually now. On that motion. SP, put it to vote! Put it to vote! If you disagree with him, move your counter motion. So if you agree with him, you agree with me when I put the votes. When I ask for the votes, when I ask for your consent, let me read the motion. His earlier motion which passed in our last sitting, he has sought to rescind that, that is in respect of section 60 subsection 3. And this is what it is. That the presiding officer shall electronically transmit the results from each polling unit to the IRF portal, and such transmission shall be done after the prescribed form EC8A has been signed and stamped by the presiding officer and or countersigned by the candidates or polling agents where available at the polling units, because sometimes you don't see any polling agent. Provided that if the electronic transmission of the result fails, if it fails as a result of communication failure, in other words, maybe network or otherwise, and it becomes impossible to transmit the result electronically in form EC8A, signed and stamped by the presiding officer and or countersigned candidates or polling agents where available at the polling units, the form EC8A shall in such a case be the primary source of collation and declaration of results. So distinguished colleagues, if anybody has a counter motion, you move it later. But in the meantime, those in support of the motion as enunciated by Senator Mongunu and seconded by Senator Bamoro, say aye. And those again say nay. The ayes have it. Yeah, point of order. Mr. President,
Video we just watched was at the Senate House in Abuja, where they were having the emergency plenary, and we can hear the conclusion from that emergency meeting. They have agreed that there would indeed be electronic transmission of election results to the IRF. But now the caveat is only if there is stable network. And in the situation where that stable network is not available, they would result a manual transmission of election results. People have come out to complain again. Even after this, people are still at the protest ground saying that this is just room for rigging. What is to say that they would not meet technologies or meet people like MTN and Airtel and the rest and have a sort of underlying or under agreements to say that there should not be network during the time of the elections in 2027, because this is something that we know that they're capable of doing. But do you agree to that, and what's your take on this, Ifoma?
Let me go back to the prayer requests. I requested that Nigerians pray one time against any spirit of wiki in their life. You see, any spirit of the Senate president that is hovering around you and around your family, pray against it. Because this man, the way I'm seeing it clearly, he's an enemy of the nation. He's an enemy of democracy. I hope Nigerians are seeing it clearly. Now, you're talking about amending the Electoral Act of 2022. Let me take us back, because it seems these people are having what should I call it, amnesia. Yes, they're having amnesia. The Electoral Act section 47 subsection 1 to 3, section 1 to 3 states that if that there is mistake or Beavers is not able to upload results or accredited voters, that the election should be cancelled and rescheduled. That is the provision they gave if there was any form of technical glitch. But now, these people have gone now to say they did not look at that particular section. They are now saying that if there is network glitch, that they should use the manual process. Is this not clear that they've already planned to rig election before 2027? Is crystal clear. You cannot tell me otherwise. Because if we're talking about network glitch, just like what you said about aligning with the networks services we have, yes, we have MTN, we have Airtel, we have Etisalat, which is now 9Mobile, and the rest of them. Why not aligning with them? Why not synchronizing with them to provide standard, what's it called, a network for the election? Is it not MTN that used to sync everywhere you go when you're they're advertising? What happens to everywhere you go? What happens to aligning with them? Okay, that is not possible. What happened to section 47 of the Electoral Act? If that is not possible, let's leave that one. Is bandits that have been uploading their videos, going live on TikTok with the locations, wherever location, in the bushes or in the bushes that they are, thick forests that they are, but they will do live video and post for Nigerians to see. What happens to collaborating with them to provide network for this
collaborating with the bandits?
Yes, collaborate with them. They say these are our sons, is their sons. They should collaborate with their sons to provide stable network for Nigerians. If that is not equally possible, they allocate trillions and trillions of naira to the electoral sector. What happens to accounting for all those millions? And what happens to putting those millions in use if network is your problem? What happens to telling all the governors, if the federal government cannot provide stable network for Nigerians in different locations and regions? What happens to mandating all the governors and all the electoral officials to ensure that there is network? It's not taking you up to an hour or up to a minute to upload the results. And INEC has never come out one particular day to say that during the process of voting and uploading of results that they encountered any technical glitch. Go and check it. Network has not INEC has not come out to say. So what is these excuses that they are making for INEC? Why not allow Joash and Mopitan, who is the new INEC chairman, to come out and say, oh, this is the problem we are having, this is the problem we are going to encounter? And why are we still using and dwelling on the mistake of 2023 where we say that there was network glitch? Is it not for you to learn from your mistake and make sure that you work on things that happened, the mistakes that happened yesterday, so that it doesn't repeat itself again? Why are these lizards why do they keep on taking us back to 1992? This is the consequences of having people that their brains have already retarded in political positions to lead the affairs of the nation. When we have over 230 million Nigerians, we have people with sound intellect, we have people with physical intellect, people that are well strong, they have the energy to manage the affairs of the country. Why do we still have people that keeps on dwelling on the mistakes of the past? Is it not for you to learn from your mistake and strengthen the electoral act? If you're amending the electoral act, why not make it go round? Why are you providing lacuna. It's the same thing that Rufai of Oseni of Arise TV said, that even if these people agree for this transmission of results, that they are still going to find lacuna. They are still going to find the ways that they will rig the election, and that is the manual this thing that they've taken.
Very well said, Ifoma. Now, the fact remains that we have people in politics during election, politicians going as far to rural areas, going to the grassroots to campaign. But when it's time for election, now you're telling us that you can't provide network in those areas. But if it's to campaign and share campaign materials, then you find your way to the grassroots and you find your way to rural areas. And the fact that we are mentioning communication failures in 2026 is a big slap on the face of the founders, of the people who fought for independence for this country. Now we have people in rural areas who use their POS, who use WhatsApp to send messages to their loved ones, and they're able to do that comfortably. Yes, the network might not be as strong in other areas, but the fact still remains that the network is present there. Now, if we are even talking about the fact that there are some areas like what Senator Ojuzo Kanu mentioned, that his village does not have network, let's also take a look at the fact that the United States have come out to accuse the Nigerian government of bribing companies in the United States, lobbying them with $9 million. When you translate it to Naira, it's running into billions and billions of Naira. Now, my question is, why are we comfortable with the problem and not preferring solutions? And I mean the right solutions that will aid free fair election, because this solution, the Prophet, is definitely not aiding anybody. Now, my question is, if we have over $9 million that you've sent to companies in the United States, acquiring Starlinks or acquiring mobile Wi-Fi's and MiFi's and the rest of them and allocating them to polling agents in different polling units as a backup plan when they go there and they don't see network, wouldn't cost the government up to $9 million. In fact, it would cost less than a quarter in order to do that. And another question that I have and I'm so worried about is, are you telling me within 4 years, which is the time you have to prepare for the next election, you cannot correct the mistakes of your past election? And then, you know, we have a lot of observers, election observers who come out and observe, and I'm asking, what exactly is the need for those observers? Are you not supposed to take the observations that they have made, the weaknesses that they pointed out, and to correct that? What exactly is the difference? What is going to be the difference between the 2023 election and the 2027 election if we still have the same glitches from that era? And how shameful is it that we're talking about communication failure in 2026? So it means we're still in the analog era. We have not progressed. We have not moved with the times. We have not digitalized our elections. I know that Nigeria has struggled with finding a way to digitalize things. We have struggled with gathering data, which deals mostly with digitals and, you know, acquiring technologies and technological know-how. It is such a shame that we can boldly say something like this. Now, what I'm also saying is, if an intellectual or if an international body, right, is paying attention, which I know that they are, to what is going on in Nigeria, what you're telling them is that there is a limitation to how they can come in and invest, right? You're telling them if they want to invest in the rural areas, there is no network. It's just funny that when you're trying to do something and you think you're hurting the other person, you are indirectly hurting yourself, because we're always calling for investors, and we are saying that Nigeria is profitable, Nigeria is fertile. When you invest here, you will see your money and all of that. And we're telling these people that we have network issues in 2026. And another thing I'm going to mention before I come to you, Charles, is the fact that we talked yesterday about the First Lady in an interview with Fox Nights, talking about the fact that the President of the United States, President Donald Trump, recognized her and called her by name, right? And she said something, we are gaining global recognition. My question now is this the sort of global recognition we should be getting, or we are putting out there for people to see? And I also want to ask, right, Mr. Charles, with all that has been going on and with this Electoral Act that has been amended in such a way that it's so porous that it is so easy for rigging to take place, where then or how then can Nigerians comfortably come out to say that the people that they saw, or the the president or whoever that is being voted for is the people's choice, can we still say that the result of the 2027 election is purely going to be the people's choice?
Definitely not. We can't say that, because I've said this before on this show and I'm saying it again. We are being ruled by people who care for their pockets more than the people they are ruling. You understand? So this is how things are going to continue to be until Nigeria comes out as a united nation, putting religion aside, tribalism aside, and every other thing, to oppose the government, because things will keep on going like this. Things will keep on going this way. Look at the excuse they are giving when it comes to the election, that network glitch and whatever, when millions, trillions if possible is even allocated to the election sector. It's an obvious excuse to go back to their former ways of rigging. So until Nigeria comes out as a united nation, as one, to oppose these people, things will keep going like this, and I do not see any chance of any candidate elected by the people occupying the presidential seat in 2027. Let me even add
something to what he said. You know, William Shakespeare said in his book in Tempest that hell is empty and the devils are here. And the devils we are talking about here, the pata of them all is that Senate president. Nigerians should not agree. Don't agree for this man. We are fighting this fight not just for ourselves but for your children. Don't agree to this menace. Let's not stop the protest, because it's as if, it's not even as if the result of 2027 election is already decided yesterday. It was decided even before yesterday, and Nigerians should unite and say no to it. We stand with the people and we are saying no to this electoral amendment. What we want is electronic transmission of result. No, however, no, even if, nothing like that. Don't add anything to it. Electronic transmission of result should stand. Find other alternative to provide network for every region.
Still on this matter, the reason why Nigerians are protesting against this is because the manual process did not work. The manual process failed Nigerians. There is a picture I'm looking at, and that is posted by Rufai Oseni on X, and this is during the 2023 presidential election, and we're seeing the imputes right from the polling officer, the polling unit officer. And for instance, we're seeing APC 202, we're seeing LP 00, and PDP 5. When you look at these numbers, it is not clear. It shows that it has obviously been cancelled and rewritten. Now the fact is, with the electronic transmission of result, you can't cancel.
Exactly.
You cannot change what has already been written, and you don't even have the time frame to do all of that, because it is immediate and it's mandatory. But when we go back to the manual way of things, we're going to have things like this, where you see a report that is cancelled multiple times and is always in the favor of the ruling party. Now, what other things do you think would be the implication if we actually do go back to this manual process of election?
Nigeria will happen to everybody. This one is no longer a number of people that Nigerians will happen to. Nigeria will happen to everybody, because insecurity is going to persist, inflation is going to persist, a lot of things will still be stagnant in Nigeria. So this is not, like I said earlier, it's not the fight for one person, it's the fight for the entire Nigerians. I even promise even the Senate president and all the members of the National Assembly that if truly Nigerians decide, that Nigeria decide that we are going to make sure that we work on this electronic transmission of results and it comes to fruition for 2027, and we are rest assured that the people we voted for are the people that will be in leadership, which I am very much certain that Nigerians, after everything suffer where they don't suffer all this while, will finally elect the suitable person, the person of integrity that will be at the helms of affairs in the country. And I promise you, if that happens 20 years from now, which God's willing, if I'm still alive, Nigeria is going to be a super economy. Put it there, out there on records.
All right, Ifoma. And then coming to you, Mr. Charles, we know that from the videos that we've seen in the Senate House when they were raising this prayer, we saw people, some senators who came out to say no to electronic transmission. One of them is Senator Kanu. We discussed that yesterday, and now we're seeing Ohafia women coming out to protest against him and wishing him even as far as death. And there's a trending hashtag which is retire OUK in 2027. They're saying he has been rejected by his community. He was the one who made the viral comment that there is no network in his village, so there can't be e-transmission. Now let's talk about the senators, the bulk of senators that we have in NAS and in the Senate House who played a huge role to seeing that this e-transmission was originally rejected.
Well, it's still the same thing. There are anybody who rejects that idea of the transmission is obviously against the country. Exactly. You do not want free and fair election. You want to rig the election, and originally these are the problems of Nigeria. So back to the initial statement I made, Nigeria has to come out as one to oppose this kind of people, because we've seen so far so good that this kind of people, you can't stop them by just talking, or we need to come out in mass. Yes, just like we did in the NSAS period.
And sorry to cut you short. It's funny that these are the grassroots women who are coming to protest, meaning that they had network to take a look at the trending videos on social media to get information, because these are not young people. These are older women. It's still coming to you, Ifoma. Let me get your take on this. And do you think that for a situation where senators outrightly move a motion that would be negative for the people that they represent, do you think that their constituencies should have protests like this, like they're having for Ojuzo Kanu?
Exactly, they are going against the will of the people. Now, let me talk about Ojuzo Kanu, which is the former governor of Abia State, who was allegedly, it's not like he was allegedly, he was accused of stealing, I think, almost 8 billion naira from the state's purse, and was later nullified. That he was even sentenced to 12 years imprisonment and was later nullified by the Supreme Court.
Because he entered APC.
My dear, exactly. And then him coming out to say that he opposed the electronic transmission because there is no network in his village. He ruled Abia State for 8 good years. 8 good years is enough time for you to ensure that there is network in your own village. Shame no, they even catch him to come out and say that there is no network in his village. A whole former governor of Abia State is coming out. Is Alex Oti complaining to you that there is no network in Abia State? That's the question I'm asking him. Did Alex Oti come out to say that he will not provide network in Abia State? So he's not ruling right now. He's not in leadership position in Abia State. Let Alex Oti decide if there is network or there is no network.
Simple. Let Alex Oti, who is the current governor of Abia State, be the one to make that decision. But thank you so much to you, Mr. Charles, and to Ifoma Oji for joining us on the conversation. To our viewers, this is still an ongoing conversation. People are still sharing their thoughts, their opinions, and we're expected to hear more latest events, even as the day progresses and even before the day ends, as to what exactly Nigerians are saying with this particular matter that would invariably affect every single Nigerian, small or big, poor or rich, whether you're Igbo, you're Yoruba or Hausa, whether you're Christian, a Muslim or a traditionalist. This is where our future has been decided, and it is up to us to play key roles during this time, so that when posterity holds us accountable, we can be sure that we were on the right side. Thank you once again for joining us. If you're watching for the first time, you just watched Morning Pulse and Active Citizens, where we discuss Nigerian politics and we push for active and good governance. Thank you for doing this with us. Do make sure to subscribe across all social media and subscribe to our YouTube if you haven't done that yet. Till we see you later today, do have a good morning.